Hello there, friends and followers, and welcome to this live stream. This is Q8Pilot with you again tonight from Kuwait, live streaming the Flight Factor 767 SF. Today we are UPS 1479 service from Lansing Capital International Airport to Chicago O'Hare. This is the recently updated aircraft from Flight Factor with the new variant, of course. And I want to welcome all of you and thank you very much for being with me here on this Monday evening or morning, depending on where you are in the world. I want to welcome Lewis, Aviation Boy, Omari, hello my friend, and welcome Steve, hello there. Full battery is with us today. Dougal, Stan, hello guys, how are you doing? We've got Stan with us as well. We've got T-Mac, Scott, hello my friend, welcome. We've got Ryan, and we've got with us Andy. Did I miss anyone? Rand, hello there my friend, and welcome. And we've got also Krishna. Krishna, how are you my friend? Welcome everyone. We've got Ranger Rick, Aviation Ace, Danny, hello there, guys, and welcome to this live stream. All right, so today it's going to be a short flight, but I think a lot of you guys on the community pool showed interest in this aircraft, and so your wish is my command, as it is always the case. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be flying this UPS Flight Factor 767. So the aircraft itself is, this is the 200 version, so this is the 767-200 cargo variant of the aircraft. And this is SF. I'm not sure what the differences are between the SF versus the F, the 300, other than the capacity. I'm not sure if there is anything else in terms of how the aircraft looks, but it looks pretty much the same to me. Let's hop into the cockpit. Nice texture work by Flight Factor. Again, you can see the overhead panel is very nice. Yeah, the texture work is very nice on this aircraft, and the 757, the A320. I wish they would go back and upgrade their 777 fleet to make it look like this. So what we're going to do today is we're going to bring up the electronic flight bag. We're going to set the aircraft. First, we're going to go to the ground. I want to show you guys stairs. Let's put that. Chocks, LSU, GPU, fuel truck. There we go. And of course, now we have the pallet numbers. We can enter them here, and you would see them here. So that's, that's kind of indigenous to the cargo version of the aircraft. And we can go to airplane, and we're going to open all the doors. Let's see here, airplane, yeah, ground. We've got, again, the loader unit. We can add that, definitely. Actually, we can add all the ground elements. All right, let's take a look at the outside, and we can see now the aircraft's got the stairs, it's got the loader, it's got the GPU, fuel truck, and yeah, we can see the cargo doors open here. So now the thing is, this is pretty much static, so you just see it there. There are no animations, and I would think that an aircraft at this price at least should have some animations, but still a great aircraft. We're going to bring up our Sim Toolkit Pro. We're going to go to the operational flight plan, and let's hop into the cockpit. There we go. All right, that's the operational flight plan, and we're going to enter the information in. Oh, come on. All right, let me put this always on top so we don't lose it, at least for the time being. And we bring the electronic flight bag here. Right, so we are going to go to general airplane. There we go. And we're going to note our total fuel today, 23,400 pounds of fuel. So 23,400, and that is set. Cargo weight isn't that much according to the flight plan. 1.9. So let's find 1,900. And we can add one more here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's say 3. All right. Actually, let's make it 4. Yep. Optimize CG. And everything is set here, and everything is looking good. CG is good. And now we can start loading the aircraft. Right. Now, there is an automated checklist that accompanies this. And Edwin, hello there, my friend, and welcome to the stream. Ranger Rick, hello, my friend. My first time with this was a nightmare. The autopilot system would not work well, but I re-downloaded it instead. I'm not sure what kind of problems you've had, but hopefully, if you do the latest update, then you should be fine. Tall guy, Sander, hello, my friend. Welcome, everyone, to the stream. All right, so we are going to head over here to the overhead panel. And we are going to turn on the battery. Battery is now on. Oh, I know why we got that. Standby power to auto. APU gen is on. External power is on. Bus ties are turned on. Utility buses are on. I'm actually going to go ahead and start the APU. So we're going to go ahead and do start. In the meantime, we do have external power, so we can go ahead and align the ADIRs to nav mode and set this here so that it will give us the time until alignment. All right, while the APU is starting up, we can head over to this side here and arm the emergency lights, and we can go ahead and turn on the fuel pumps. Why not? And let's see here, position light, let's turn that one on. Window heat is on. And non-smoking and fasten seatbelt signs are turned on. And if we come here to, let's see here, mode select, we're going to go to auto. So cabin altitude control is now automatically taken care of by the aircraft. And we're going to set the cabin temperature to auto. Trim air, recirc fans. This goes to auto, and packs on auto. Isolation valves turned on. APUs turned on, and all the isolation valves are turned on. Perfect. So everything is set up here in terms of the control panel, and we're just going to wait for the APU. Let's go ahead and turn these on as well. We're just going to wait for the APU to adheres about 7 minutes before final alignment. All right, we can consult our flight plan now, and if we go back to the top, we note the final cruise altitude of 24,000 feet because it is a short flight. So 24,000 feet. 24,000 is set. We're going to turn on the flight directors, and everything is good here at the moment, so we can bring up the FMC, and we're going to go to FMC and position init, and we are at Kilo Lima Alpha November. We're going to copy the GPS position from the scratch pad and paste it into the IRS position, and then we can go to routes. We are departing KLAN. We are heading to Kilo Oscar Romeo Delta, or Chicago O'Hare. We are today UPS or 5X1479. Flight number is set, activate, and execute. All right, let's see here. Alex, hello there, my friend. Welcome. All right. Now that we've got the departure, the origin and destination airports, we are going to go to the departure. We are departing KLAN today, runway 28 left. So that is now set and execute. And we're going to go to the route, next page, and we're going to take a look at Sander. Thank you very much for becoming a VVIP member of the Q8Pilot channel. Appreciate your support, my friend. Welcome. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. All right. So we are going to see, that's our flight plan right there. So very simple, very basic flight plan. We're going to fly direct to Sierra Mike uniform vector, and then we are going to take the Windy 2 star into Chicago O'Hare and perform an ILS approach runway 28 right. All right, so let's enter SMUUV direct and execute. Then we're going to go to the departures, go back to the index, set our arrival, and it is the Windy 2, and that is the one. And ILS runway 28 right. And there we go. And of course the transition is this one here. Do we have a... All right, let's take a look here. Ernie, Pappy, no. So there is no transition there. So execute. We're going to go to the routes page. Let's check our legs. So there is a disco right here. Oops. All right, that's executed. Next page, and it looks like, all right, so what we need to do is we need to take a look at the flight plan. So let's head over here and switch this to plan, and let's step through 28, and as you can see, all right, so this is kind of looking strange because if we reduce here, let's take a look. So looks like from BAM, all right, first let's clear this disco and execute. So we let's see, what did I do here? Step. All right, so this looks, if we come to BAM, then I'm not sure, we have to come back here. Yeah, so from here, vectors, so they would vector us back here. Huh, that's kind of strange. Let's try this one here. Yeah, you see this, it's going to come back here. So what we can do is the following, is we come from Vulcan, so we can delete this one here. So let's delete Kirk, let's delete BAM. All right, and then we take this one here and execute, and that's better. And even better, I think, if we remove this one here and fly direct from Tubas right there, I think that would be better. So let's remove, let's see, Vulcan, and then we do that. I think that's a lot better, and that way we can intercept the ILS for the runway without too much trouble. It looks a lot nicer this way. So yeah, I think that's much better. That takes us all the way to the runway, and we can land at the designated runway. All right, step through, and that's 28 right there, and then we should be fine. Step, yep, perfect. Alrighty, so now we can go to the performance initialization, that now that we are done with the flight plan, and we can put this back on, there we go, on the map. Gross weight, we just can simply click to get the number, and for the reserve fuel we can go to Rilo. Hello there, my friend, and welcome. And we can set the reserve fuel. Let's see here. So the reserve fuel, what you do is you add the alternate with the final reserves, and that's your reserve fuel that you enter into the FMC. So 9.2 will approximate that to 9, and 4, that would be 13. So we're going to enter for reserve fuel. Our cruise altitude is 24,000 feet. We're going to enter that here. And the cost index, as you can see here, is 25. So we enter that here. We go to takeoff page. We're going to do flaps 5 for departure. Center of gravity, you've got a 4.1 trim. And we turn this on for the speeds. And now we have our speeds set to 125, 128, 135 for V1, V-rotate, and V2 respectively. Perfect. So we are done with that now, and we are, as you can see now, it says here pre-flight complete. And if you get this message here, it means that the FMC is now ready for takeoff for the flight, that you're ready, you've done everything correctly, and you are ready to go. So we're going to set this back to the, we're going to set it to 23.4. Yeah, we're going to set this to the legs page. We are going to remove, no, before we remove this, we are going to take a note of the altimeter. And let's take a look here at the weather. As you can see, the weather 240, 13 gusting winds, 23 knots. Woo, wow. All right, and then we've got altimeter is 299.5. So if we come here and set it to 299.5, now you can see it right here. It's been set. Temperature is 31 Celsius, quite hot, isn't it? Yeah, it's a warm day. All right. So we are ready there. We're going to set the brake to rejected takeoff. We're going to put this display here. So actually, we should have done this before starting the APU so that we can see the EGT rising and know when to start the APU. But nonetheless, we are good. So let's head back to the pilot view here. And now we are ready, so we're going to bring back the electronic flight bag. And we are, hello there, Conductor Harley. How are you doing, my friend? And welcome. So here's what we're going to do. We are now ready to go. So we're going to go to the aircraft, and we're going to choose close all doors. All the doors are closed. And then we're going to head over to the ground. And let's just make sure that the APU is running, which it is. The APU gen is also running. So if I disconnect the external power, the aircraft is running on APU, so we are good there. And we can remove now the GPU, fuel truck, stairs, chocks, LSU, ACU, and the loader unit. And we are good to go. All right. So a few things before we start the, looks like we have alignment now, but why can't I see? Ah, there we go, that's the flight plan. Perfect, okay. All right, so a few things we need to do in the 767. First, we're gonna set the VOR DME to auto and make sure it is set here as well. So that is set. And let's see here, everything looking good here. And we're going to come back here and test the ILS here. So this is where you enter the nav frequency for the ILS, and this is the ILS course. Those two we are going to need later on. We're going to make sure the transponder is set to TARA, and we're going to make sure also that the computer, so this computer must be set to auto, and it's the middle position here. So this is now set to auto. And now we can turn off the packs and start the aircraft. We're ready to go. But before we do so, we need to turn on the yaw dampers. And we're going to turn on the hydraulics. Nice sounds, again, when you turn on the hydraulics. And we're going to set these to auto. And everything else is good now. All right, let's go ahead and set our trim. And the trim is, I believe, 4.1. And it's right there here. So let me just zoom in so you guys can see. 4.1, we're almost there. 4.1, that's about right there. Parking brake is set. Perfect. All right, let's turn on the beacon light. So the red beacon light is now turned on, and we are now ready to start the aircraft. So we are going to turn off the packs, and we're going to start with the right engine first. Set this to ground. We're going to come down here and monitor the N1, or beg your pardon, N2. As you can see now, N2 is rising. And about 20, this is the mark here where we can introduce fuel. So let's go ahead and introduce the fuel. And now the aircraft, the engine is pulling. Let's take a look at the outside. Nice engines, nice texturing overall on the flight factor. All right, so we have a good start on the right engine. There we go, everything's looking good. So let's go ahead and start the left engine. And we're going to repeat the same steps. We're going to go to ground. And then we're going to wait for N2 to reach about 20%. And then we can introduce fuel. And 20% is set. Fuel is coming up. Perfect. All right, we are going to set this to the legs page and set this one to climb. All good. Now, the 767 operates in somewhat the same way as the 777, where we can engage LNAV and VNAV right before departure. All right, and now we have a good start on both engines, so we can turn on the packs on again. And we no longer need the APU, so we can turn off the APU and turn off the APU bleed. And everything else looks good. All right. So we are going to set flaps 5 for departure. And we're going to head over here and turn on the runway turn-off lights. And the wing lights as well. And we are ready to taxi now to the runway. Parking brake released. Full up, full down, full left, full right, pedal, full left, full right, neutral, all good. We're ready to go. Let's give it some power. That's the cargo compartment. Not sure what those views are doing. We'll set up the views once we are airborne. But there you go. What do you guys think of the livery textures? I think it can be improved a little bit, but that's me. And I'm not sure if you guys can see, there's actually the windows there. So that livery is not a very good one, but it's the default one that ships with the aircraft, so. There's a wing view for you guys. I think we can give it a little more power. Overall, I like the Flight Factor fleet of aircraft. There's 767, 757, A320. Overall, I think they make good payware for X-Plane and some really advanced simulation of aircraft systems. Sander, hello there, my friend, welcome. We've got JV, hello there. Chill, hello there, my friend, welcome. Yeah, now there was once a student pilot who was getting his type rating on the 767, and he purchased this aircraft, and actually he told me that it looks nothing like the real aircraft. Now, from the visual perspective, I think it is very similar to what you would expect to see in a 767. I cannot, of course, vouch for the accuracy of the aircraft systems, but this was a student pilot who told me that, nah, this thing is no way near what the real aircraft is. But hey, it's still fun. It still gives you an appreciation of what a 767 operates like. And so yeah, I think it's quite expensive if you ask me, but I think there is also a lot of programming that went into this aircraft, so definitely lots of work. Is it in terms of fidelity, is it the same as the A320 by flight factor? No. I think the flight factor is the cream of the crop when it comes to flight factor. It is their #1 aircraft, hands down. No contest there. But yeah, I enjoy the 767 as well. And believe it or not, I do enjoy their 777. It's just really a lousy aircraft, but I still like 777s. Danny, if I search for that registration, it says it's a A300 version. Yeah, it's all messed up, man. The livery is just not very good. The artful, is it Planker? Hello there, my friend, welcome. Edwin, hello there, my friend, and welcome. Surely the I9 builds A300-600F is the benchmark for XP. Yes, absolutely, you got it right. The guys at I9 builds, though they haven't developed that many aircraft for X-Plane, but I tell you, it is just amazing. The sounds, the fidelity, the texturing, the 3D modeling, those guys really pay a lot of attention to details. And their aircraft, the Beluga and the A300, I think the A310 is on the line. I've received some information on that aircraft, but yeah, I cannot say anything about it. But yeah, I think it's going to be a promising aircraft for X-Plane once it is released. All right, folks, here's the hold short point for runway 28 left. All right, we're going to bring the aircraft to a complete stop and configure it for takeoff. Right, so landing lights are on, and the white anti-collision lights position, and it's actually the strobes, so they are turned on. And we're going to turn on the auto throttle. Auto throttle is now armed, and rejected takeoff, or auto brake set to rejected takeoff. Flaps 5. We are ready to rock and roll. So parking brake is released. Let's give it power. UPS doesn't operate any 767-200 SFs. That is correct. The only cargo aircraft that they do, in fact, operate is a 767 F300 version, but this SF is available it by default with the new update from Flight Factor, so I didn't really bother around too much to find an SF version. It is a real-world route though for UPS, so they do fly the 767-300 freighter from KLAN to KORD, and that's what we're doing today. All right, 2-8 left. We are ready to go. Let me just make sure that we're on the center line here. All right. Give it a little bit of power. Stable. And toga. I don't think toga worked. Nah, it's not doing it. So I'm just gonna give it power here. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear is going up. Wow, it's just really skyrocketed into the skies. All right, let's see here. It is definitely very entertaining and extremely informative. A very, very educational aircraft, and it's a lot of fun to fly as well. And by the way, this is the beta version, so it is a beta, and this is also a beta version of X-Plane as well. All right, I think we can adjust the trim here a bit. What did I do? All right, that's much better. Not sure what those views are. I don't know what I've done. But there we go. That's a wing view for you guys. Lovely. All right, let's engage the autopilot. Autopilot is engaged. And we are at 7,000 for 24,000. Let's take a look here at our flight plan. That's the top of climb right there, and that's the top of descent. So it's actually, as soon as we hit the top of climb, not too long after that, we're going to begin the descent into Chicago O'Hare. (900,000 feet). Alrighty. Press thrust to activate thrust. So we can go to climb. I actually have toga mapped to a button, so it should have done what it's supposed to do for toga, but it didn't for some reason. Right, so above 10,000 feet, let's kill the lights. And wing lights are turned off. Runway turn off lights are turned off as well. Not sure what those views are. I'm not sure what I've done there. Well, not bad, you know, in terms of the texturing. It's all right, I guess. And we continue to climb, folks, to our final cruise altitude, 24,000 feet. Blackjack, hello there, my friend. You are in the middle of Washington State. Wow. It must be cloudy over there, isn't it? Aviation Shorts, what do you think about the A330 teaser video that Laminar Research made? Well, I'm quite excited about what Laminar is doing. They showcase the, what does the FMC message says? Unable cruise altitude. Oh, look at that. All right, let's go to index, performance. We're going to change this to 230. And we're going to change this to 230 as well. And now we're good. All right, that was easy. So I'm very excited about what, you know, what Laminar is doing. We've seen the bear reference set to standard. We've seen the light engine that they're introducing. We've seen another teaser of an A330. They're definitely coming up with a few tricks, and they've said when Microsoft Flight Simulator released that they have a few tricks up their sleeves, and I think we're seeing that materialize now. And quite frankly, I'm quite excited to see, you know, what Laminar brings to X-Plane. And honestly, they have to catch up very quickly, and they have to really introduce some game-changing changes, if you will, for the lack of a better term, in order to stay competitive. And you know, P3D is not far behind. Again, they have some excellent add-ons. Recently introduced a new update with a lot of you know, fine features. So yeah, I think that we're in for some good times in terms of flight simulation in general. And of course, we've seen the PMDG DC6 for Microsoft Flight Simulator, the Aerosoft CRJ 500 and 700, and a fleet of excellent GA aircraft by Just Light. So Microsoft Flight Simulator is already very great in terms of scenery, weather depiction, and in terms of aircraft, they're definitely catching up. So they're definitely in the game. Of course, X-Plane and P3D have had a head start, but they need to get their act together very quickly, in my view, or else, you know, a lot of people will start switching. I will tell you that, just based on my experience and knowledge of the flight simulation industry, and a lot of the newcomers. So people who are already X-Planers or P3D fans will probably stick a lot longer with those simulators. I'm probably one of them who will stick with X-Plane for as long as it's there, and it will remain my main sim, unless something, again, dramatic happens in Microsoft Flight Simulator in terms of airliners, flight model, and things like that. So yeah, let me just this is the top of descent because this is a short flight. Let's see here. Let's go to init. And we're going to take a note of the ILS frequency, which is 111.10, and we're going to enter that here, 111.10. All right, and the approach course is 273. So we're going to set that here, 273 is set, and we are good now. And in terms of the arrival, so we're going to go flaps 30, and we're going to add 5 knots to the speed, and to bring it to 133 knots, 133 knots, and the platform altitude is 2,200 feet. There are a few restrictions along the way, but that's all right. We are going to come here, and you will see here, this is the 2,200, this is your platform altitude. So we're going to set this to 2,200. and the aircraft will begin the automatic descent at the top of descent point. This is the top of descent, and if we go to the FMC right here, and if we go to cruise, you'll be able to see that we are due for top of descent in 17 nautical miles. So we are not too far now from Chicago O'Hare. Should be an interesting approach. Let's take a look, guys, at the winds. Oh, by the way, I don't think that oh, there we are. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the weather information. Temperature is 30 Celsius, dew point 21, wind 250 degrees at 8 knots. Visibility 16,000 meters. That's fine. That's about 16 kilometers, 10 nautical miles. Altimeter 298. And in terms of clouds, we got a few clouds at 4,000 feet. So should be, you know, a rather nice approach into Chicago. I don't expect any issues as we arrive. But according to the weather METAR, look at that, 250 gusting winds, 18 knots gusting. We'll see. We'll see once we are there. But doesn't appear to me like it's going to be an issue as we arrive. All right, let's see here. JV says, with my old DDR3 PC, I'm not even thinking about going to Microsoft Flight Sim. That's probably a good decision. Ranger says, cannot best explain tube liner flight models. What is the purpose of the red display? What red display? Is it this one here? So this one is the Autoland status, and you can, if you press here, it will go away. I'm not sure if that's what you were referring to as the red display or not. Laminar has to update their simulator to stay in the game. Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, we are at the top of descent, and the aircraft has begun. Well, not yet, but it will begin the automatic descent shortly. But we are going to just help. Oh, come on. There we go. We're going to help reduce the speed so that we can begin the descent.
There's a sale on in the store. Do I buy the 767 Pro or 777? Take care of my friend.
Hey, Rand, thank you very much for your generous donation, my friend. Really appreciate it. I didn't quite get the message. Do you get the 777? If you can type it again, I will make sure that I answer your question for you. Thank you very much for your generous donation, Rand. Really appreciate your support. All right, you can see now that we are descending at about 1,100 feet per minute. We are at about 280 knots. Engine, is it I can't say, Dag, is it? I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Hi, Captain. Thanks for the good work. I would like to ask a question. I just have started my PPL theory course, and I will be continuing till April. We've got Nanda has become a VVIP member of the Q8 Pilot channel. Thank you so very much, my friend. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I'm not switching pure Microsoft terrible software. Just caught up in Microsoft for an opening. Yeah, Rand, I think a lot of people are having this, but according to what I know, there is a big update coming, and it should really help with the performance. So it's going to be a performance update that is supposedly going to really resolve the performance issues with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Do I buy the 767 or 777? No, totally the 767 or 757. Stay away from the 777. You will be disappointed. Right. I wouldn't recommend it. Captain Robbie, welcome to the VVIP membership, my friend. Thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Is it makes Vilano? I hope I said it correctly. Are you using Volanta? No, I am not using Volanta. I am using Sim Toolkit Pro. I've looked at Volanta, by the way, and it offers it offers pretty much what Sim Toolkit Pro offers, but I think Sim Toolkit Pro is a lot better. So I'm sticking to Sim Toolkit Pro. Explain better for IFR, FS 2020, good for VFR. Yeah, I think I would probably agree with you guys there with that assessment. At the time, at the moment, yes, I would say that's probably that's a fair assessment. I would say, yeah. Right, we're still looking good. All right, altimeter settings. And 29er. I believe it was 29908, but we can verify that from the weather information here. 29908, that's correct. Oops. And we continue our descent, folks. And this is, by the way, this is Chicago O'Hare. So we are. This is the remaining part of our flight plan. We're coming this way, and then we're going to make a right turn to intercept ILS for the arrival of runway, which is runway 28 right at Chicago O'Hare. And for those of you who just joined us, we are performing ILS approach. I wonder if I should try Autoland. I never tried Autoland in X-Plane, never. I don't think I've ever done it. I've done a lot in FSX. And when I started with flight simulation, I think I did a lot of Autoland. But then, you know, I decided that, hey, you know, that's probably not the correct procedure for most airliners unless, you know, visibility, you can't see the runway or visibility is bad. Then, yeah, you can use Autoland to land the aircraft. But you are required by all airliners to maintain your certification is to do, I think, 3 landings a month, 3 manual landings a month. At least that's the case for Kuwait Airways. So I believe the captain has to do 3 manual landings to keep his certification per month. So yeah. But if you guys are interested in Autoland, we can definitely try it. I'm not sure if this aircraft has that capability. Well, I'm sure it does in real life, but I'm not sure if Flight Factor has programmed that into this Flight Factor. Hi from Tel Aviv, Hello there, my friend, and welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us. I have a suggestion. Could you hear me out? Bling pop. Yes, please. Go ahead. I'm always open for suggestions. And in the end, guys, I'd like to do what you guys want me to do. So please, if you have a suggestion, I'll be more than happy to take it. Absolutely. Right, we are at 14,000 feet. Let's take a look at our flight plan. Here we are. We need to. I think we're still looking good. 12,455. So I think we're fine. We're maybe a little bit. No, actually, we're on the dot there, so we're fine. In terms of altitude, no worries at all. Could you do a flight from Tokyo, Narita to Honolulu on All Nippon Airways A380 flying? Well, there isn't an A380 that is worthy of really doing a live stream with. That's one. And I normally don't do very long flights, so the maximum I would do is an hour, 30-minute flight. So if it is that long, then I would consider it, but I would probably want to do it with another aircraft other than an A380, because simply there isn't an A380 for any of the sims that is worthy of a stream. Yes, thank you very much, Dougal. There is definitely a Discord channel where you can put all your suggestions in terms of the flight routes. 747 flies that route. We can definitely try it in P3D, because I am not going to fiddle around with the 747 in X-Plane, the one by SSG. By the way, it received an update, and I've received a few requests on my Discord to review it or take a second look at it, and I did, and I was again very disappointed to see that it's pretty much the same error that you get with the with the battery switch is still there. Imagine that from the very from the get-go of the release of that aircraft until this day, it still has that issue, which drives me up the wall. You just kind of have to move your mouse all around the cockpit to figure out how to turn it on. So it's very, very frustrating. And then the FMC, by the way, has a lot of issues. I do not recommend that aircraft. Save your money, spend it somewhere else. Right, we're approaching 10,000 feet, folks, and we are not too far now from our destination. Taking a look here, we are descending at a rate of about 1,250 feet per minute. And all is looking good. All right, approaching 10,000. Let's go ahead and turn on the landing lights. Landing lights are turned on. Captain Robbie. Captain, are you still using FX on NVIDIA control panel? Can you post your current NVIDIA settings in Discord? Absolutely, sir. I will do that. If you're referring to the for X-Plane, I am not using the I forget the anti-aliasing. I don't think that I've set it because recently I've done a clean install of my NVIDIA drivers, so I don't think that I went back to the NVIDIA control panel to set things up. Looks like now we are a bit too high, and we need to increase the rate of descent. So here's what we're going to do, folks. Let's take a look here. Speed is good, but we're going to go to vertical speed, and I'm going to set this to about 1,500 feet per minute until we correct this. Now you can see once we are here in the center line, then oh, look at that traffic. That's a lot of aircraft going in the vicinity of Chicago O'Hare International. Yeah, it's coming up, and we can now reduce the rate of descent. Make this closer. We're looking good, and we can go now back to 1,000 feet per minute, and we're going to keep it there. The water in X-Plane is, pretty bad, I think. But with X-Vision, I think it kind of adds a little bit to it, makes it a little more acceptable in terms of the visuals, but I think it's still pretty bad. Yeah, terrible. You can see the traffic now more clearly here. All these aircrafts, some going in, some coming out of Chicago O'Hare. I think we're too low, so we are going to reduce our rate of descent now. Let's take a look here. All right, I'm going to start reducing our speed to 220 knots. .800 feet per minute for our descent rate. We are at 7,000. Have to leave. Dougal, have a beautiful day, my friend, and thank you for your wishes. Appreciate it, my friend. Thank you very much. Is that World Traffic 3 or online traffic? Jonathan, I'm using Just Flight Traffic Global for X-Plane for the AI traffic. Do you have any suggestions? I'm downloading X-Plane 11 but only have a Mac with a touchpad. You can perfectly use X-Plane on Mac, but please be careful with the with some of the add-ons. For example, the IXEG does not work on a Mac, so just be aware of what payware aircraft you're buying. But it should X-Plane should work on a Mac. Blackjack 29908. That's the altimeter, and I believe it is set. Stan, thank you so very much for your donation. So very kind of you, sir. Thank you. A $10 donation. That's very gracious. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Really, thank you for your support, and I really appreciate it.
Traffic.
That's the TCAS.
Traffic.
Is that it? Or is... I think that's the one, yeah. Alright, and let's take a look here. Alright, we're going to start reducing our speed now to 205. And we are at 6,000 for 2,200. By the way, that's the airport. .000 feet per minute. You can see here the needle that we're a bit too high, so we're going to correct that. We're going to make the turn here. That's the runway. And we are now going to go to 170 knots. We don't have yet the localizer, but I think there is an issue with this aircraft. It does not detect the localizer until you're really close to the runway. So so we have it already set to 111.10, 273 for the approach course. This is the correct ILS frequency and correct course, so that is set, and we are ready there. And we're going to set the auto brakes to number 2, and we're going to make sure that the... No, that's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do... No. There we go. Arm the speed brake. I can definitely feel the turbulence now. Right, speed check, and flaps set to flaps 2, I believe. The first degree flap is, no, flaps 1. Alright, let's go to approach. And you can see that the aircraft's going all over the place. And let's decrease the range here. There we go. Alright, we've got now the localizer and glide slope needles showing. And speed check, flaps 5. And that should also help us reduce our speed. Just look at that bouncing of the wings. I don't think I've seen an aircraft that does this, to be honest, but you can see the wind condensation here on the wings. Alright, we're coming up to the dot here. So we're going to wait for the diamond to reach this point here, and then we're going to lower the landing gear. Still looking okay. There's an aircraft there. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a rough approach into Chicago O'Hare. Hope it works fine. Some controls are so laggy, and these keyboard to move them. Is that wing condensation part of the aircraft? Or no, it's actually part of X-Plane 11. So in X-Plane 11, it's implemented, and provided the right weather conditions exist, then you would see the wing condensation on the wings. All right, that's close enough. We're going to lower the landing gear, and we're going to reduce our speed to 150 knots. 150 knots is set. And now we're intercepting the ILS. I think we are a bit too high, but let's see what the aircraft does here. Well, it doesn't seem like it's responding at all to the glide slope. So let's see if it tries. All right, so let's flaps, and let's go to 140 knots. It's definitely not doing it. All right, plan B, disengage the autopilot and my aircraft. We're going to set the auto throttle to 133, and gee, the wind is pretty strong, I tell you guys, and we are a bit too high, but we'll be able to correct this hopefully as we approach the runway. We're going to have to watch our flaps because I've disconnected the autopilot very early because it wasn't following the glide slope. So yeah, so we're gonna just do it ourselves here, and let's see, let's trim the aircraft a bit. Very strong winds, without a doubt. We're off the localizer, off the glide slope, but hopefully we'll be able to correct that. Let me take a look at the flaps. All right, let's go to flaps 20, and I can feel the aircraft definitely pushing me to the right. So very strong gusting winds here as we come into land, but hopefully we'll be able to do it. It's all over the place, I tell you. It's going to be an interesting replay to see, you know, how things pan out. But I'll tell you, I'm finding it quite difficult to control the aircraft. Right, let me just give it a little bit of rudder here. Try and keep it straight coming in to the runway. $1,000 feet, and this is normally the point where we would disconnect the autopilot and manually land the plane. Yeah, obviously it's going to complain about the glide slope now.
Glide slope.
We're going to try to use the instruments to make sure we are on the glide slope and localizer. Yeah, it's wow, the winds are so strong. Right, and we're going to go, so flaps full. And I'm just going to keep the auto throttle for now.
500.
let's kill. Auto throttle is off. Two reds, two whites. We're doing all right. I'm telling you guys, I've got rudder, I've got everything just going right now.
Minimums.
Wow.
100.
I think this is probably one of the most challenging
50,
landings
40,
that I've done.
30, 20, 10.
All right. Reversers are out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chicago O'Hare International Airport. Not a bad landing considering the circumstances. The weather was just terrible. All right, let's find a spot and park this aircraft, and then I really want to take a look at the replay. The go-around was not really necessary in my view. I think it was perfectly okay. We came in at a safe distance of the runway threshold. And what is this guy doing here? All right, let's just let him do whatever he wants to do. And we're just gonna turn here. And then we make a right at the next taxiway there and land the aircraft. Definitely was one of the most challenging landings that I've done in X-Plane. It was very, very challenging. Tell you guys, the winds were gusting winds, so it was very difficult to compensate. 1 minute is from the right, 1 minute is from the left, so it wasn't exactly straightforward, but nonetheless very enjoyable. Right, I think we can retract the flaps. And we are okay to clean up. White, no longer needed. We never turned on the runway turn-off lights, by the way. But that's alright. Oh, look at the frames. By the way, the frames always suffer at Chicago O'Hare when I'm streaming, but I get no degradation in performance when I'm just recording a video or just doing, you know, a flight myself. Then, you know, I get no issues whatsoever. This is obviously not the cargo terminal, but we are going to park the aircraft somewhere here anyway and take a look at the replay. Captain Canada's Timmy, giveaway for this airplane, hopefully in the next stream. Do we have a, I thought there was a spot here. Ooh, man, look at this aircraft. It's huge for this parking spot, but you know, nonetheless, that's where we're gonna park it. Got the marshaller helping us park the aircraft. Alrighty, let's set the parking brake. That's close enough. The gate will always... Man, look at all these aircraft flying. Wow. Alright, let's kill the engines. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. I'm really interested to see... let's see, maybe here... Yeah, let's take a look.
Traffic, traffic, traffic.
And you can see the, you know, how difficult it was to bring this aircraft down on the runway. What do you guys think of that wing flex? Do you think it's realistic?
Thanks for the stream.
Oh, Scott, thank you very much for your generous donation of $25. Really appreciate it, my friend. Look at that view. Really appreciate your support, Scott. You're very generous, my friend. Thank you. You can look at the rudder, how much rudder I was actually trying to apply to keep the aircrafts coming. Right, here is a control tower look, if you will. And you can see the aircrafts going all over, just trying to battle the wind there to keep it on the localizer and glide slope. I think we've done a pretty good job overall. God, I love X-Plane. I mean, this looks pretty realistic, I tell you. Now, I've seen videos of aircraft coming to land in, windy conditions, and they do the behavior, what you see is very similar to what you see in those videos. Outstanding. Thank you, Laminar. Bit of a firm landing there, but I'll take it. The Chicago scenery is Nimbus Studios, and if you're, of course, always interested in the scenery, you can always type exclamation ARR for arrival, and you'll get the link in the chat to the scenery. The scenery for KLAN was freeware scenery. Again, if you are interested in the scenery for the departure airport, just type exclamation DEP, and you'll get the link in the chat. Thank you very much, Rand. Really appreciate it. Tell you, it was really fun flying this this short flight on the recently updated flight factor Boeing 767. I want to thank you guys very much for being here tonight with me and spending some time on the Q8 Pilot channel. I really appreciate it. And again, if you guys like to see any specific routes, you can always put a recommendation on my Discord channel. There is a specific channel there where you can make suggestions. And just as a general rule of thumb, guys, I don't fly long hauls. I simply don't have the time nor the energy to fly, something in excess of 1.5 hours. So please be mindful with your suggestions and suggest routes that are not too long so that I can fulfill your requests. And when you suggest a route, I would really appreciate it if you could also suggest the aircraft that you'd like me to fly. Of course, members will always get their request fulfilled first. and then it's first come, first serve basis. But members will always get their priority on the Q8 Pilot channel. All right, well, folks, this is pretty much, yeah, it was definitely Stan. Thank you very much, my friend, for your support, generosity, and I want to thank you all, those of you who are the new members to the channel. I want to thank you very much for your support, and I hope that you've enjoyed this stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. And until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. Stay safe, and I will see you very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye for now.